First time installing a headliner kit. Okay, so today we're installing the headliner kit 4-piece. We've got our back clips installed, and we're fixing to wet it down so that it becomes more pliable. We've also measured, and we have a place where we can find all of the front clip holes. This is explained in the instructions that come with the headliner, how to take your measurements. Okay. We're just going to lightly spray. This comes in the instructions. It says that the company sent those instructions, that they found that it's less likely to break if you dampen it and make it more pliable. So we're spraying the back side. This brown side is the back side. We've also had the headliner out in the sun for a couple of hours to heat it up. Heat will help draw the moisture into the headliner material faster and allow it to become more pliable. Our concern is mainly about the corners and the edges. It is helpful to take your hand and rub the water into the material. Again, we've done the last quarter, and you can kind of see we purposefully kind of made that one over there kind of messy so you can see where we sprayed the water. So that's kind of where we're at this point in the process. We're going to give it a minute to soak in, and then we'll start installing. All right, so this is the initial getting it into the truck. You can see that we've got the front installed into the clips, the corners made up all the way down over the window, the side window, and then in the back. All right, so that's just kind of where we're at initially. Okay, so now
dead on 16.5 right there.
Trying to find the center screw hole. We know our measurements, and we know our line. We got a paper clip in it where we think it is. It's good to have a little.
It's dead on.
Dead on. All right, so now we know where the center screw goes. This is definitely a two-person job. This is definitely a two-person job. This is the center screw. You can see that's the first one you install. Everybody needs a break from overhead work, so that's what we're doing. All right, so after you've measured, once you get your headliner into the clips, then you've got to find where the screw holes are. So that's why your initial marks are here. We've taken a small paper clip. You push it into the holes there and see if you can find it. You may have to actually push it in and move the paper clip around to see if you can find where the screw hole was. Once you do, you can pretty much use that as a measure of your line. So the next step is going to be the back corners. As you can see, it's always a smart idea to go ahead and put the clips on for the back piece before you ever even put this headliner in. I don't know if I mentioned that before or not. And so now we'll move on to the back corners. Ken is actually wetting down the back piece and the corner pieces as we speak, so that they become more pliable, just like we talked about before. Alright, so I'm going to try to back up enough where you can actually see this piece. Alright, this piece has to go over there. Well, it has to go in that spot. It's actually going to go on this side, but I can't video that very well. So this is a flat, so it's going to have to really make a curve. So we're going to have to wet it down and kind of wait a little bit till it becomes more pliable. So Ken's going to wet these down a little bit. He's going to leave them out here in the sun for just a second. Let that heat help absorb some of that water into the cardboard pieces. Definitely when these are warm, they are definitely easier to bend. So heat is your friend in this case. One thing that we've found out that might be smart to do is get a really, if you've got an extra fender laying around and you can get it hot in the sun, that hot metal, and then take your hands and just gently make it more pliable, and it also puts a little bend in it around that fender so that you know, you've already got it going the way that it needs to go. Now here, of course, the fender is a convex curve, so you want the back of the headliner facing up to you.
Alright, there's little clips right here
Okay.
under the rubber that thing's got to push into.
Okay. Let's see. Alright, so alright, so when you're installing the corner pieces, the instructions from the company are not super clear about whether or not these corner pieces go under or on top of the front piece, but we're going under, and then of course it has to go in behind the black window seal, I mean the back window seal, and ours just happens to be black. And then inside that rubber seal you'll see two clips on the sides, and so of course it clips into those clips, and then there's an edge on the side where you see Ken's thumb there that it's kind of a guide. It's the window line, and you want it past there. Now we've already had to trim the side that I'm actually standing on, the passenger side. We've had to trim it down a little bit, and it looks like we're gonna have to do the same on this driver's side.
Mm-hmm.
And of course you want to do that in small increments. It took us 4 attempts to get the one on the passenger side correct. Alright, so now we're going to move on to the rear piece. As you can see, the top, the front part of the rear piece will go into those clips, and then the rear part of the rear piece will rest on these lips that run all the way down inside the rubber of the back glass. Okay, so just a side note about this last piece, the rear piece. There are cutouts, you'll notice here, and then there's 2 here, and then 1 on this end. Those rest on the clips that are installed along the back window glass. So this should rest down in there, and then you'll put the clips from the front piece. This should clip into your clips that are at the rear of your front piece, this side. And then if you have a light to install, of course you'll do that as well. Okay, so now we're at the back piece, and this has been the toughest yet. We put it into the back clips, just like it said to install first. Got our light installed. Now we're having to use the windshield tool to kind of get it in behind the rubber of the back glass. And this has definitely been tough. This is the tough part. Just do a little bit and rest. Once you get the corners though, get everything fastened in with the clips first, and then get the corners behind the rubber is what we found was the best method here, and then get the windshield tool and do a little bit at a time. This is a tough job. You need 2 people. Alright, so that took us another few minutes, but that is complete now. So all of the headliner pieces, all 4 pieces are in. This headliner was bought from
I don't know. Come from Max.
Okay, so is it a what kind of headliner is it?
It's made by Eckler's.
Made by who?
Eckler's.
Edwards.
Eckler's.
Eckler's. Oh, Eckler's.
E-C-K-L-E-R.
Yeah, Eckler's. Okay, so it's an Eckler's headliner. That's all that matters. And 4 pieces. And now we'll put the chrome back on it, and I'll give y'all one last look once we get the chrome in place. Alright guys, so this is the final look with the chrome in place. Headliner done. Headlamp coming around on this side. All the chrome's done, and that job's finished. If you have any questions, you can email or just comment below this video.